Like one of your best like leadership skills from like my viewpoint has been throughout whether it be Hex or this, has been your ability to like view new evidence presented and then make drastic changes when necessary. And
Thanks,
like
man.
you do that better than most other people I've seen in your position. Most people double down, and they see when you've done it several times over, and since I've like been paying attention. And how does, like, my question I guess is that, like, how does that feel when you realize, like, when ETH 2.0 came out and you knew that there was a better code base to be working on, and like the realization was real? Like, how does that feel for you, especially with like the gravitas of like, oh god, this is going to be a big change that no one's going to be
Well,
excited about?
hey, remember that time Ethereum launched software on time? No. Remember that time anyone launched software on time? No. You never knew whether the merge would ever happen. You didn't know. And then if it did happen, you didn't know if it was going to break or not. You couldn't do anything different than what we were doing. And then once the merge happened, you're like, oh, okay, this works. Cool. All right, well, upgrade time. Here we go. I mean, for me, these things are simple. You're like, would you rather, okay, what's better software, BSC or Ethereum? Ethereum. Okay. Which one would you rather fork? Ethereum. All right. Well, that's that. Easy.
I mean, that's awesome, because I mean, it's an analytical way to look at things, and I mean, if you can do that with stuff, I mean, like I said, I'm just way better place, financially through investment, learning everything I've learned from you. So like, hearing that is awesome, because it makes me, more sound.
Yeah, like
that you're,
it was just like I used to
comfortably what the right choice is.
I was a Bitcoin maximalist. Ethereum used to suck, and then it stopped sucking, and then it got all this cool stuff, and you're like, yep, I would. And then I was like with Hex, I'm like, well, we could launch our own chain and get attacked by botnets all the time, or we could launch on the thing that nothing's getting attacked on, not at least from the network side, just from them sucking at programming side, and it worked perfectly.
Well, and I'd like to say that from like that side too, the gatekeeping that we've had to encounter, if you'd chosen to go our own route from the beginning, it would have been an insanely harder road to onboard people and to use to like,
True,
I mean, have the
actually.
decentralized tools that we
Yep.
have, been really difficult.
Yep.
So I like, it was like the right choice in the moment, and then looking back, you're like, it was the only choice,
And I would still make the same exact choice again now. It's the best. There are people that say things that sound smart and sound funny, but on analysis, they're stupid. I'll give an example. Hexagons say, hex user not affected. And then you're like, yeah, Bitcoin.org got hacked and the scam was put on the homepage. Hex user not affected. Bitcoin, you're down after holding 5 years. Hex user not affected. You're not down after holding 5 years. If you held for 3 years, you're up. People are so stupid that they're just smart enough to be dangerous. So they think L1 is better. And you're like, yeah, but what about all these L1s that get 51% attacked? They think rolling their own bridge is better. And you're like, what about all these bridges that have been hacked for billions of dollars? They think giving someone else their keys is better. And you're like, what about all these centralized exchanges that just steal all your money or go bankrupt or get hacked? And they're idiots. Like,
a lot of time I feel like it's timing bias too. They might have been right, but if you look at the chart over the long haul, like we've been severely operational for a long time, and
right.
like these other things go up and down quick. You were right for a minute, but
right, exactly. You're like, now everyone that ever bought's at a loss. I'm glad you got one green candle and then red candles forever and death. Is that really what you want?
Yeah.
And it's like this concept in startups that Paul Graham covered, which is, are you default dead or default alive? If you're default alive, you have a much better bargaining position with people that are going to provide you funding. If you're default dead, they can squeeze the heck out of you because they know you're going to die otherwise. And is your crypto default going to wreck everyone? Or if you go to sleep and wake up 10 years later, are you wild rich? And that's a big, big difference, because the majority of coins are default dead. And people play these stupid net negative games where they get into a new thing and then they're like, oh, green candles, green candles, green candles. And then hot potato, you're left with a time bomb and it blows up in your face, and then it blows up in everyone's face. And the only guy that makes out is the idiot that scammed you all. When we say, so a guy will say, if the taco truck down the street failed, Hexicans will be like, hex user unaffected. And it sounds witty and it sounds funny, but guess what? It's reality. That guy didn't have to have a failing business. He could have just sat on his butt, got rich and not paid income tax at double the rate of capital gains tax. And like,
Yep.
and if Hex has had perfect flawless operation for 3 years because it was on the Ethereum network and it was amazing code, both, and then other things got the living crap hacked out of them, then we deserve to be credited for that choice because we could have made the same bad choices everyone else made. And so like Hex user not affected is more nuanced and more thoughtful and more important, and a design choice that, like, it's not just how many people have been hacked from authorizing a smart contract to spend their coins. Hex never asks you to authorize a contract to spend your coins, ever. It never asks you to do that. And then you never have to worry about a proxy contract being upgraded and stealing all your coins. Because we don't have proxy contracts, because we don't have authorizations. Every single thing you do with Hex uses message signer. It doesn't have this attack vector of you authorizing a contract, and it could be a proxy contract, and they could update it to just steal all your coins.
I mean, there's a couple other things in Hex that are they're unique like that. I mean, the fact that it is its own self-contained thing, that we're not touching a bunch of other Oracle stuff or DeFi stuff.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Right. There's no
That's
one
why we have
running some
longevity.
price Oracle that could. Thank you for reminding me. I used to talk about that a lot. I haven't in a while. There's no price oracles, and all the trading is on chain. So there's no stupid order spoofing. There's no iceberg orders. There's no, an exchange got hacked, so now everyone that was your coin users got hacked. It's so much better in so many ways.
It was comedy when people would say that kind of stuff. Oh, they're just wash trading. You're like, no, dog.
Nope.
It's all on chain.
It's all on chain, dude. You can see exactly when they got in, when they got out, what else they hold, whether they usually stake. It's so vastly superior in so many ways, and it's just insulting to me when people don't recognize its greatness. Oh, by the way, who invented you lock up your coins and you get more?
As far as I know,
Hex.
that's a Hex, you know.
And then,
I mean, I'm not saying that
who copied that?
There was some coins earlier that were trying to do that, but there was no lockup features. Like, sure, you could. I mean, there's some shit coins that would inflate to infinity that it did exist before, but the lockups were non-consequential. You know, you didn't have anything that would actually hurt you for that, because there were master nodes that were a thing, which is basically lockups, but you could just unstake tomorrow and sell anytime you want. Not no penalty.
It's just like these other scams that I'm the only person that talks about. You go on these ranking sites for DeFi stuff, and they're like, oh, total value locked. You're like, it's not locked. It's literally just as locked as though it were sitting in your wallet. You can spend it whenever you want. It's not locked. Stop saying locked. Total value deposited. Okay. It's not locked. It's a lie. It's the same thing like counting Satoshis never moved coins in the circulating supply. That
shit is frustrating.
You're lying. Stop lying. Yeah.
As somebody who has made long commitments and locked up their money, I know it's like frustrating. You're like, dog, you and I are not the same.
We do so many things better, and if these people would stop player hating and learn from us, there'd be a lot less hacks, a lot less horror, a lot more decentralization, a lot more robustness. How many of these projects have decentralized front ends with multiple maintainers, multiple code bases? Like almost
so
none.
Few, and none of them even understand the value in it. Otherwise they would do it. You know, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I like NFT projects where they can change the NFTs to dick pics whenever they want. You're like, like Trump's NFTs. You're like, oh, so you just. The guy. Oh, he forgot to pay the server bill. All your NFTs are gone now. Oopsie.
Gone now. Yeah.
You're all idiots. You're so stupid.
But the thing is, I will say that I mostly feel like the Christian in me mostly feels bad for those people. Honestly, I'm mostly like, man,
too, but I can't yell.
So much. No, I get that, dude. I get that.
I'm at maximum yelling. Like I can't yell any louder.